Swim check 1, 2. Bike check 1, 2. Run check 1, 2. I think we're ready. Let's try this. Welcome to the Try Beginner's Luck podcast, a podcast where we explore the sport of triathlon from a variety of perspectives to help beginner triathletes on their journey. I am your host, Nashonda Shines. Well, all right. Welcome back to another edition of Try Beginner's Luck. I'm just so excited always. I think that's my perpetual state when I get to record because I really do love the opportunities I am afforded to talk to every guest that comes on this show. I feel like it's a gift that I didn't know I needed when I started this podcast in October of 2021, but really it was a thought at the end of 2020. And so I didn't think I could, but I said, well, what the heck? Let me try. Let me just step out there and see. And so every time I get to come, whenever I meet new people, I really want to invite everybody on, but I'm one person as of today, and the team will continue to grow. So I can't interview everybody all the time, but my heart is I want to get to know as many of your stories as possible because every story matters and how we try matters. A couple of weeks ago, at the top of February, I decided to take part in a program that I saw online. Not everything you see online is legit, but I had been following this group for a while. And I said, I know a friend who had results. And if she's had huge results and success, why don't I tap in to see if I could as well? In the process, I didn't realize how much I would get out of it. The very first call that I attended was incredible. There were other cyclists on this call talking about their challenges and their problems, what worked, what didn't work. And I said, wow, this happens every week. And so for the next 6.5, 7 weeks, as I was doing this program, I got to meet a lot of the collective is what they call themselves, or what we call ourselves. And this individual was one of the first people on that call, extremely welcoming, very motivational, with a lot of inspiration in his tone. It's like when he speaks, you can't help but get like excited because you're like, one, are you going to rap us a beat? Or you just don't know what's going to come out, but you know whatever's going to come out is going to be good and powerful. And you're going to leave feeling better than when you came in. He's known as the People's Principal. And he's originally from Bogota, Colombia. He is the 2015 New Jersey State Cycling Champion. He got his start in triathlon in 2014. And he, as I stated earlier, being a principal, he is leading our youth, but also leading those of us who are in sport. And it is my pleasure, it is my honor to welcome to the Try Beginner's Luck podcast, Mr. Juan Pablo Jimenez. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. And it's an honor and a privilege to be on this podcast tonight. And it was an honor and a privilege to meet you in the CIS Collective. And I'm excited, and I'm coming to you here live from the Queen City. And for many people that don't know where the Queen City is, it's Plainfield, New Jersey. This is where I was raised, and I'm happy to be here. And the purpose of me being here tonight is to see how we can inspire and motivate people to become better versions of themselves through sport. And I'm excited.
Look at you telling us what the purpose is.
Yes.
I might as well just sit back and let you run the show.
As a matter of fact, I'm the host of the show tonight. But
come on, welcome in.
Thank you. And what I was inspired by you. That
really?
Yes, when you told your story, and I think that's the whole purpose of people sharing their stories, is that we can get inspired and motivated by hearing people's story. And I think you have a gift. You have a gift. I'm going to call it a spiritual gift, because you are here to enlighten people, to bring hope to people, to motivate people to be better versions of themselves. So you have a special gift, and God gave you that special gift through communication. So that's how you inspired me. And I was the first one in the collective to say, hey, I want to be in your show. I want to be on the podcast. But that's just me trying to be nosy and getting in everybody's business. But yes, so thank you for having me tonight.
Oh, I'm here for it. And thank you so much for those encouraging words. I think when I joined that call, and as I mentioned, I don't think I mentioned it in the introduction, but CIS is a cycling program that's run by Coach David Lipscomb. And I didn't know what to expect. I just joined the call because it was a part of the program. And when I joined something, I want to go all in. And I was so uncomfortable with the questions that he was asking me. I felt like I was put on the spot. And I was squirming the whole time. It might not have seemed like that to others, but I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I'm taking up all the air with all these questions he's asking me, and that there should be other voices brought in. But I think it was all intentional. And I think Coach David is very intentional. And that 6-week program coming in week after week, something changed in me and shifted. And one of those things was realizing the importance of community and realizing that we really aren't in the struggle alone. And I understand that cycling, well, in triathlon, we often say community is everything. But I hadn't really seen, and that's just from my limited scope. Like I'm not in every group, I'm not in every program. But until date, I have not seen a program where every week people are coming to talk about their previous week's work, and everyone is doing different work within that week. But yet somehow there was a through line of what everyone was experiencing. So it gave the collective group hope and inspiration. I want to talk about that because I feel like you mentioned that we are here so that people can become better, and stories help to shape and inspire us so that we can feel like we are encouraged. How has being a part of a weekly collective transformed your life, not only as a cyclist, but also as a principal who is shepherding our youth?
Woo, that's a deep question right there. But for me, I joined CIS because I was in the verge of quitting the sport of cycling. I was ready to hang up my bike because I didn't have that drive, that motivation. I couldn't keep up anymore. Same like you, I saw CIS on social media, and I gave coach a call. And for 3 years now, we've been working, got a chance to meet some amazing people, some beautiful people from all over the United States with different backgrounds, different diversities, and just working with them and learning. Because sometimes when you're an endurance athlete or a professional in any aspect in life, we tend to try to figure things out on our own. And that's where we have our shortcomings, when we try to figure things out on our own or try to understand a concept without working with somebody who has mastered the concept. So working with coach and the collective, I've grown as a cyclist, as a human being, and even gives you an opportunity to share your story and have empathy with other people, because we just don't talk about cycling. We talk about life, and when life hits hard and we have each other's back, or we give that word of encouragement, or we might have the answer to somebody's problem. So that's the beautiful thing of the CIS collective, and we're growing as athletes, and it helps us. Some of them on CIS, they have their individual goals that they want to accomplish, and through the program, they grow as athletes, and even in life, we transfer that into life on how to endure when we get hit with chaos in our daily lives, and how to reach out to people for help when to reach out. So that's my experience with CIS. And my goal is to just continue that work, to help and motivate and inspire people, and to try to teach them the way, because some people don't know the way or try to master it on their own, which some people are geniuses and can do it. But sometimes people need that coaching or that guidance to get them where they want to be or to accomplish any goal that they have in their lives.
Wow. I think that was the shocking part to me, that during this call, it's not just about cycling, it is about life and how it transfers into the workforce, your family, and everything you do. And it really does set you up for ultimate success. Since being in the program for 3 years, what exactly list off some of your achievements and how your life has been better as a result of being a part of this program for the last 3 years?
Well, one of the things I could say, I'm in better shape. I understand how to train, and it's very important that as an endurance athlete in cycling or in triathlon, you have to have a mastery and an understanding on how to train effectively. It also taught me how to understand and read my body. Because sometimes us as athletes, we don't listen to our bodies and try to do things that we're not supposed to, and then we end up in injury. So those are the things that we kind of mastered. I mastered in that training effectively, getting fitter, understanding my body. And there's a process when you are training for a sport. There's a process, and you have to have faith, patience, and consistency so you can progress in any sport that you participate in. And that's something that I learned these last 3 years, because before I was just that cyclist that would just train, overtrain, and the end result would be plateauing, not showing results, and I've had some issues with some injuries. So, working with CIS and coach, I've kind of mastered that, and I've been free of injury, thank God, and just growing, and my fitness is growing, and I just can't wait when the race season really starts here in New Jersey to participate in some races and just have fun.
Well, you said something was very key, and that's learning how to train, staying injury free, but also the consistency. And I don't think everyone knows how to train and how to train properly. And sometimes when you get with a program like CIS, it takes you back to the foundation of everything. And it can make you feel, if you are more ego driven, like you're not accomplishing anything. And to hear you say how you've learned how to train, how you've improved, that to me speaks so many volumes, especially while being injury free. And the reason why I'm talking to you from a cyclist perspective first is because cycling is the longest distance of the triathlon. And I know from experience, the cycling can either make your day harder, or completely wreck your day. I know you don't actively compete in triathlons currently. And so, my question for you is, now that you've been in a cycling program for 3 years, training under a master cyclist who used to help with programs at USA Cycling in developing some of their programs, at the top of their game, they understand the fundamentals of cycling. Looking back when you first started, or when you became the champion in 2015, because that still said that you had some skills, how are you different and what has changed?
What has changed? The first thing that has changed is my mindset, and sometimes as athletes and when you compete, you tend to beat yourself up a lot when you don't get the results you get. You start doubting yourself, you start sabotaging yourself because you don't get the results that you want. I won those state championships because I was under the guidance of, and rest in peace, and one of my good friends, Greg Cordasco, was a national champion cycling track coach. And he guided me through that, and when he passed away, I kind of got lost. And, My mindset was all torn up. I didn't get the results that I wanted. I just lost the understanding of the dynamics of cycling and competing in cycling. And I think when I started working with the coach, we had to go back to the basics, the foundation. He would have me do these workouts like, why in the hell do you have me going so slow for so long? I could go faster. But there's a reason for that. You're working your nervous system, you're working different systems in the body. And that's the whole purpose of him. The coach got me to understand that you were just working one part of your body, of your nervous system. Now you're going to work with all components to make you the essential elite athlete that you want to be.
Real talk. And I can speak from experience because I literally just did the 6 weeks program. And I cussed so much to myself. I never came to the group with like, this is some bull. But I thought it a lot. And I was like, you know what? You got to trust this process. You have to trust the process.
Right.
I said, I've done it my way and I've done it others' way and I've done other coaching programs. And I know that my tri coach, he was like, cycling is one of those things where you need to get with a good person, do a program. And so I did. I sought out a different program because I saw it online. And I tell you, I never thought I would love the the small chain ring as much as I do now.
Right. Right.
Initially, I hated it. And I probably haven't moved past the third cog on it yet,
Cool.
right? Because I'm really learning how to cycle from ground zero
Right.
and use different muscles. And I experienced that nervous system shift. Like after I did the program, I thought I was sick. And I was like, and I didn't know what was going on. But when I talked to coach, I was like, yeah, I wasn't feeling too well. This was once I was done. But he was like, we need to now let your body absorb everything that it just did. And I was like, that is what was happening. And so when you say learning how to understand your body, that to me is gold. Now that you understand your body, tell us when you push and when you don't push. Because if you're racing, cycling, you're probably doing criteriums and you're in a large pack and you have to be more strategic in how you move. So tell me how learning about your body allows you to be in control when you are racing now that you understand the foundational principles of cycling.
Right. So the beautiful thing now is I have more experience under my belt. I've been racing since 11 years old. So the dynamics of the race, it's already here, embedded here. So now it's just understanding my body and making sure that I know when to sustain an effort and when to recover in a bike race. And I think that's what I've learned. And I'm excited. I can't wait till in April there's some bike races coming up. The big one here in New Jersey is the Tour of Somerville. I'm excited to race that one. So I already kind of understand how the bike racing dynamics go in a bike race. You got to make sure that you're in the correct spot. Make sure that, if you're in last lap and you're getting ready for that sprint, you better be in the top places hitting that corner towards the sprint. So, or if there's a breakaway going on, you have to understand and read the race, but understand your body. If you're capable to go with a surge, or if somebody's trying to break away, you're trying to catch up to them, have that energy to master or to do that move. So I think that's what I've learned. And I think with the coach, he's started making me do these hard workouts to master their surges in a bike race. And that's the beautiful thing about the coach and CIS. And I know I'm giving them a lot of promos. So hopefully, your listeners can log on CIS and see what it's all about. But the coach has different programs for whatever you want to do. Like for me, I want to master criterium racing at the master's level. So he has me doing that, and those workouts during the whole winter, he had me doing that. So that's going to get me ready for, coming up in April and May. So I'm excited. I hope you can come down and watch him.
I'm gonna see what I can do. I'm gonna see what I can do. Now I want to go backwards a little bit. I want to go back to your try story because then I want to go forward to where we are now, like just kind of come back and put the pieces together.
Yes.
Team, you said, hey, I want to do a triathlon. Tell me about what made you want to try, what type of triathlon you tried first, and how did you feel afterwards?
Well, see, this journey, it's funny because everybody has their story and how they began. And for me, it was just doing in Plainfield, the Queen City, decided to host a 5K. So guess who signs up for the 5K? So I do the 5K, and guess what? I get top 3 in my age group. I'm like excited. I'm like, yes, yes. So then I take it to another level. Oh, Rutgers University's having their half marathon. Let's do it. So I started doing those runs, and I said, you know what? I need to do something more. I have to challenge myself more. So for some reason in my head, hey, let's do triathlons. I don't know why. Maybe it was a divine calling. I don't know. But do triathlons. So I connected with this gentleman who was a manager at a bike shop here in New Jersey. His name is Adolfo Rodriguez, and he was into triathlons. So I connected with him, and from there it all just started. You know, he got me into the swimming, into the running, and sure enough, few months later, I'm doing my first sprint triathlon. But it was me connecting with that person that had the knowledge that could guide me to do something like that. I knew I had the talent, the physical talent, because I was racing bicycles since I was 11 years old. So I had the fitness. So it was just connecting with somebody that could guide me. And that's very important to the people that are listening right now. The hardest thing is to start. But once you start, it's important that you connect with a group or a person that knows what they're doing. And Adolfo Rodriguez, I love you, man. And I hope you can listen to this. I'm giving you a shout out because if it wasn't for you, you know, I wouldn't be able to do 2 Ironmans, half Ironmans. If it wasn't for him pushing me, saying you could do it, I wouldn't have participated in sprint triathlons, Xterra triathlons, and Ironmans. I was planning to do a full Ironman, but unfortunately I got injured, and you know, I had to kind of shift back to the bicycle because triathlons, they tend to be a little bit expensive, especially the Ironmans. But, you know, and for those gentlemen that are married, be careful. Don't show up at the house with a tri bike because,
You better save a marriage on
yeah, I'm
here.
starting a marriage tonight. Guys, please tell your wives that you're gonna buy a tri bike before you show up home with a new one. Cause
Is that what happened to
yeah,
you?
you get divorce papers on the table the next day, man.
Oh, that is so
No,
funny. They say that
no, but
it's N+1.
right. So, and it's very important because we're talking now about the fitness and the training, but in triathlon, and everybody that starts a triathlon is a beautiful sport, but there has to be a balance between sport, training, and family. And you know, the family loves you, they care about you, they want the best for you, but it's important that you communicate your goals and that there you find that balance because you can't be just training all the time, especially if you're a dad, a mom out there, because you know it has to be a balance because issues will start if you don't communicate. Please, for all those viewers out there, please communicate.
I feel like this is a point of contention. We got to dig
I'm,
into it, right?
I'm sorry.
We got to go deep. I think it's important. You know, a lot of couples try together,
Right,
or one person is doing it and then the other joins them.
right.
But the way you've just stated that with conviction, if you feel comfortable sharing
Yes,
from your experience,
yes,
you know, because you're right, triathlon is very resource rich.
right,
You need resources to
right,
provide for the resources you need so that you can try.
right.
Meaning you got to have your coin up.
Yep,
And if your coin ain't right,
right.
it makes it a little more difficult,
Yeah,
but not impossible
right.
because I know how to try on a budget. You said that, and I think there's more to the story. So tell us about the time you brought home that tri bike
Well, see,
and got in trouble. But also, before you do that, I want to shout out how I started this, or the last episode in March. Chelsea Sodaro, who is a world champion, quit sport for her family. And not many people will do that. That's principle driven. Our next episode, Angie Click, who was on just last week, same thing, mentioned how family is such an intricate part. You have now equally mentioned family and communicating goals. So I want to talk about all that because I think that's so important. And we can get lost in sport and thinking that that's the most important thing, even though it really may not be, especially when you have a family involved. So take us back to this story that brought up so much conviction.
well, and I could just share personally, when I started the triathlon experience, we talked about you need the resources, you need all the toys to play right. Right. And then and in triathlon, you need the triathlon bike, of course. You need a good pair of running sneakers, right?
Well, the triathlon bike is needed, but it's not
No,
necessary.
but,
You can
but
do it on a road bike.
yeah, you can get a road bike, but still, road bikes are still expensive.
It's still expensive.
Triathlon bikes, and then you want to put the little upgrades on the bicycle and all that good stuff. And then you need the membership to the pool, and you gotta make sure that you go to the open water swims, and you need the nice little suit to go swimming. So it's very important that, and you said it. I think you said it. You budget smartly for tries, and it's important that anybody that wants to start a sport that you make sure you have your resources, and you talk to, if you're married, or you have children, you have a girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, that there's that communication. Because, and I'm gonna share my experience. I received a letter about concerns because they didn't want to communicate it face to face, but there was a letter written. Hey,
A real letter?
yeah, a letter. I swear to God, I still have it somewhere here. And it was a letter, an email sent saying, I love you. I love that you're doing your sport, but this is what's happening. You bought a bicycle, you bought this, you bought that, but we have to pay for this, that, and that. So you can't use your rent money to buy a new bicycle, and don't tell anybody. All right. So just to all your viewers, please don't use any kind of your mortgage or rent money to pay for a new bike. But in all seriousness now, yeah, it's important that you communicate, because you want that support from the family. Family's going to love you whether you win, whether you lose. They're going to love you. They're going to love you with that unconditional love, unconditional love. But it's important that there's a balance and you communicate, because sometimes there will be some friction. And you just said you shared two world-class athletes that quit the sport to be with their families. Because sometimes what happens is you get involved in the sport and you kind of lose track of the other things, which is family. We get involved so much into it that we forget about, shoot, I had to take my little baby girl to her ballet recital. Shoot, I forgot to take my baby to, or, I forgot my wife's anniversary because I had it. So it's very important to all those viewers out there. Please talk to the family, share your goals, and get a nice, effective action plan going, so you could be supported at home from the family. And it's beautiful when you finish an Ironman and the whole family is over there in the finish line clapping it up, and it's just a beautiful experience, just to have all those people that supported you see you at the end receiving that medal. Doesn't matter what place you got, but you did it. And it's a beautiful experience.
It is. And we know not all people love unconditionally, whether they're family or not.
Right.
Right. And it is the hope that people will love us unconditionally if they understand the value of what that is.
Right.
And I am grateful that you shared that story because I think it's something that people don't talk about enough.
Yep. And we can get even deeper. We can even
We don't have to, but because I don't want to put you out there
no,
like that.
put it. No, it's okay. And see, that's the whole purpose of sharing our stories because
Who am I to tell you no? If you want to share more,
oh,
Juan Pablo, you have
there's,
the
what
floor.
does research say? That most of the people that practice endurance sports, they have experienced some trauma in their life.
Mm.
And that's how they combat their trauma. That's how they face their demons. They go do an endurance sport. And some people don't go to a psychologist, don't go to a counselor. They get on a bike and ride for 4 or 5 hours, go swim, do a run, because that's the way they deal with their trauma. Real deep, right?
I've heard that theory.
Yeah, and it's true.
I definitely have heard that theory, and I I can see how that could be true. Yeah, it's a lot. I think speaking from experience, when you are on the bike, and I want to be very clear, external of being on the trainer. If you're out on a long ride, there is something beautiful about your mind clearing,
Yes,
right? There is something very freeing about being out there. You're working out problems. It's just you, the two wheels, the trees, the nature. There is something to that. And for people who love to run and they go, they're extreme marathoners, I can see for them how that's helpful. That has not happened with me. Maybe once or twice in my life when I've been on a run where I've seen that or experienced that. But are you saying for you that cycling and endurance sport has helped you deal with some of maybe your trauma,
yes,
or has it created more trauma?
no. It's I call it my medicine, my therapy. Just to share some stuff on a personal note, I was in the military. I was in the Navy. So there's some PTSD there that I had to combat with. And the bicycle has always been kind of my medicine. Anytime I have a stressful event here at work or in life, bicycle has always kind of been my therapy. And what you said, sometimes I get on the bicycle and I can find a solution to any problem when I'm on the bicycle. So for me, yes, it's for a lot of people. I would say if everybody would ride a bicycle every day, there wouldn't be any wars because everybody would be too tired.
Did you? I wasn't expecting you to go there.
Okay, but yes,
I heard in my own head, like a bicycle a day keeps maybe the doctor away,
right,
but you said there would be no wars?
right. Everybody be just riding bicycle, and you get home, you're so tired, you just want to eat and sleep.
There could be a theory behind that.
No, that's just me and my positive think.
You see the world, you view the world with the glass half full, and that's a beautiful thing
Yeah,
because not everyone sees it that way, right? So you in 2014, you jump at the opportunity to do a triathlon because of a friend from a bike shop. Did you know how to swim? Did you have to learn how to swim? What was your biggest hurdle getting into sport?
for me, my biggest hurdle was the run. The
Not placing, third place in the
that was
5K runner?
But that's the thing. I could do it on a 5K, in a half marathon, you just run your pace. But then what you said, when you have to master all three sports, the swim, I was good. I used to swim in high school. So I was good with the swim, the bicycle, but then the run. And I tell you, when I did my first half Ironman in the Poconos, and I think I overdid it on the bicycle because I didn't know what I was doing. And sure enough, I get to the run. And in triathlons, the worst thing they could do is put somebody's age on their calf, right? That could kill your morale in a minute. So I'm there running, trying to get myself together. And this is no lie. It was a beautiful, like 65-year-old woman. She had a tutu on, a little pink tutu. And she was just running at her on her nice little sweet pace. She passes me And all I see is just run off into the horizon. And I'm still struggling on mile 10. So for me, it's always been the run. I try to work so much on the run. I got injured so many times on the run, so many injuries running. So that's why I had to kind of like change over to just riding the bicycle. But the run was always tough for me.
And what did you do to improve if the run was the toughest for you?
Well, we
And I'm asking because I haven't had many guests on the podcast that lead with the run being the toughest. It's usually the swim or the bike, but not many people that
ride
talk about the run.
the run, and I tried. My good friend Adolfo, and we would train with this wonderful runner. Her name is Monica Nunez. I think she won one of these marathons back in the day. In her age group as a female, but we started working with her. We also worked with Coach Maria from Mammoth University. She had us running in the track over there at Mammoth University doing laps. So once again, she was teaching us kind of like what Coach teaches us now, how to work with your body, how to run those intervals, surges, how to control your pace, your breathing. So it helped a lot. And towards the end, I kind of did better in the run with that. But once again, and that's why I kind of encourage everybody to make sure that you connect with somebody that 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 knows what they're doing, a coach, because a coach will always guide you. There's certain triathlon groups all over now that there's somebody there that's a master triathlete that can share their knowledge and wisdom with you.
Okay. When you made the decision to switch from triathlon to 100% back to cycling, because of injury, I believe that's what you said earlier. How did your mindset shift in that moment?
It was tough. It was tough, but I knew I needed to do it because it was just a lot. The injury, financially, I wasn't there to keep doing triathlons. So just the switch over to transition to cycling, at least I was doing some kind of sport, some endurance sport. So, it was a good transition. It was hard, but it was a good transition. And I'm blessed to keep riding my bicycle and healthy enough to keep riding and competing.
All right. I'm very curious about your career as a principal.
Oof.
A principal is how, as I was thinking about it, I was like, oh, there's the difference between principal and principal is pal at the end. He's your friend.
Uh-huh.
And you are the people's principal,
Right.
right? So, how is that being in education and teaching students and cycling? You're bringing two different alter egos to the table.
No, I bring it. Everybody knows. And if I could show you my office, there's bicycles all over the place here.
Really?
So for me, it's been a journey. It's been a journey. I've been blessed. And I don't know. God wants me to be a principal because it all started, I was freshly out of the Navy and I didn't know what to do. I came back home. I have some naval experience. So I applied to be a teacher assistant here at a middle school here in Plainfield. So that's how it all started. The gentleman, Mr. Aponte, Wilson Aponte, said, "Hey, man, I want you to come and be a TA and help the kids here at our school." And from there it grew. From TA, I became a teacher. From teacher, I became a vice principal. And from vice principal to a principal. So it's not that different in cycling. You start as a novice and you work your way up to be an elite. So that's my journey here as a principal. And yes, I involve cycling in my work because I work with the city here to put on a bike race that races around my school. And you're invited to
Nice.
come. You're invited.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate these invitations.
So
So, what kind of cycling program do you put on or race that you put on for your?
so we do it's on Memorial Day weekend. And we bring people from different categories. We have professionals from Europe coming here and racing around my school. And that's a beautiful thing. Like professionals are around here in Plainfield. We had a German team last year come and it was awesome. And it continues to grow every year here in Plainfield. And I'm so glad that I was the one, and me as a joke. And this is how it all starts. Same thing like I asked you, hey, can I be on your show? I went to the mayor of the town and I said, hey, what do you think if we put in a bike race around Plainfield? What do you think? He's like, that's a good idea. And sure enough, we have brought this to our town and to our community and to our school. So, I'm so happy that we're bringing sport and education and getting the kids to see bike racing. So it's a beautiful thing. And adults.
Are you talking about Destroy Cycling?
Hmm?
Destroy Cycling, the German team, DCC?
I think, yeah, they were here.
What?
They were here. I got a picture with them.
I'm just getting really excited. Man, those are my guys. Okay. Well, not that we have to go back down memory lane, but so what race is that the Tour of Somerville?
No, we're part of the Somerville series. So our bike race is on that Sunday. Somerville's on Monday. So the Destroyer guys, they come in. I guess we're like their little warm up race, and they race Somerville the next day.
Interesting. And then after they race there, they come down to DC area
Right.
for Armed Forces Cycling Classic.
There you go.
It's all making sense now. I love this.
We're all connected.
Little
We're all
connection.
connected.
Andreas, shout out to Andreas.
Yeah.
That is my guy from the DCC team. I love it. I love it. Dario won Armed Forces Cycling Classic, I think last year or maybe the year before. But yeah, they are some nice gentlemen.
They are
Very nice
very
gentlemen.
tall gentlemen. I'm like, geez, how tall?
Very tall. Very tall.
Right.
Okay, so you put on this race. How cool is that? And the kids get to be involved.
Right.
So not only are you teaching the youth, you are integrating them into your sport.
Right. So, and if you come here to Plainfield and you talk to anybody, yeah, Jimenez and his bicycle.
Jimenez.
Yeah, Jimenez and his bicycles. But that's how I'm identified. Or anybody says bicycle, they'll say my names.
I really appreciate your forwardness when once once I had to do my introduction and you were like, oh, I want to be on this. And I was like, kind of like, are you a triathlete? Like, you can't just come on my show if you're not a triathlete. But hearing this, I appreciate you being so forward. I'm usually that person that's be like, oh, I want to do this. And so to see it in the opposite way, it's really refreshing. As we kind of bring this to a close, you've had an extensive career from being in the military. Thank you for your service in that. Riding bikes since you were 11. Being a state champion in cycling. Taking a stab at triathlon. Doing sprint, doing Xterra, and doing 70.3. At the end of the day, if you strip all of it away, and even being a principal, who really is Juan Pablo Jimenez?
Why do you ask that hard question at the end?
I didn't even know I was going to ask it. It just happened to come. You doing all this philosophical.
Sorry.
I'm like,
So
I come up with questions as we go.
Right. So Juan Pablo is this person that has a mission in this world. I'm getting a little bit emotional, to serve. And I'm going to share this with you. Do you know the difference between a villain and a superhero?
You want me to say yes or no?
Yes or no? Do you know the difference between a villain and a superhero?
Maybe.
Oh,
I'm not helping your call. No, I do not.
Okay. So, and some viewers probably have heard this before, but the difference between a superhero, Superman, and the bad guy, the villain, the superhero makes sure that nobody goes through the hardships or the traumas that he or she went through. They protect, right? They protect and they guide those people to make sure they don't go through what they went through in their lives. The villain, on the other hand, that he or she's going to take it out on the world. Like, I went through this, y'all going to feel my pain. I'm the superhero.
Mm.
And that's why I kind of like telling my stories. Some of them are goofy. Some of them are inspiring. Some of them will make you laugh. Some of them will make you cry. But it's to make sure that you don't go through what I went through. And that's who, if you take my titles away, principal, cycling champ, triathlete, that's him.
I,
You're speechless.
I,
Oh my God. The
I
host of the
am.
show is speechless.
I am. I've appreciated your vulnerability, and I hope all I kept thinking about was, wow, I know people are probably like clapping, like, yes, yes. Thank you for being the superhero and giving us that analogy. We need more superheroes. So thank you for being a superhero and for what you do to give back and for how you are inspiring people with your story. And I hope that you continue to share your story with many, many more. And so thank you for being here, Juan.
Thank you.
We are now going to transition into our rapid fire questions. So fast and dirty,
Not too dirty now.
not too dirty. It'll be a little dirty, maybe, but not too.
Don't get nasty now.
Early morning ride or sunset spin?
Sunset spin. I'm not
Pain cave or outdoors?
outdoors.
Favorite race distance?
The most shortest one.
Hills or flats?
Flats.
Road bike or gravel?
Road bike.
Solo training or group rides?
Solo.
One song that gets you race ready.
It's a James Brown song, but I don't know the name of it.
Okay. You know the tune, how to hum it?
What is it? Shoot, I was listening to it the other day. Get back to me on that one. James Brown.
Okay. We'll take James Brown. He's from
James
my
Brown.
hometown.
There
Hey,
you
shout
go.
out to the
James
AUG.
Brown. James Brown.
Clip in or chaos at the Mount line?
Clip in.
One word to describe your racing style.
Passive. Nah, just kidding. Just kidding. I just wanted
Did you see how I just looked at you like, what?
smart. Smart. I just wanted to see your reaction.
You got it.
You're like, what?
You got it.
Smart. Smart.
What advice would you give someone who's just starting out and feels intimidated?
Just start. Just start. And like I said, I keep saying it, find a group or somebody.
And we don't let anyone leave without asking this question. Do you get off the bike and pee? No. Do you pee on the bike or do you get off and take a proper pee break?
You gotta get off and take a proper pee break.
Even during the middle of a criterium?
Well, see, and that's now, you have to be very smart, and you have to be, and anybody that's a cyclist that has been racing for a long time, they know you hit that potty like 3 times before the bike race starts. So there's no chance. And a criterium is too short. I don't know about long distance, but in a criterium, because of the anxiety and the nerves, you're hitting that porta potty like 3 times before the bike race starts. So there's no chance.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. It's been a joy having you on. For those of you who are new to the podcast, welcome. And if you've loved what you've heard, definitely share it with your friends. You can find the Try Beginner's Luck podcast on every major platform. And if you want to see this, you can tune into YouTube and or now Spotify. I can put video on Spotify now. And maybe by the time this comes out, we'll be on Apple with video, but definitely on YouTube.
Hooray. I'm excited.
We have the saying at Try Beginner's Luck. Whenever you try, you always win. And I believe that wholeheartedly. My name is Mashonda Miles, also known as Mashonda Shines. And for now, we are out. Peace. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you for tuning in and listening to this episode. We need your help so we can continue to try at TBL. So for more information on where you can find and subscribe to this podcast, visit www.trybeginnersluck.com.
And don't forget, whenever you try beginner's luck, you always win.